And welcome to another episode of Jay's Finds. And today we are installing some lighting mod in my Ferrari because I love everything that has to do with lighting. Now we're not changing the tail lights, we're not changing anything. All we're doing is making the tail lights always sequential. What does that mean is, well, you're gonna see in this example. Alright, after seeing that, I'm gonna show you what we installed to actually make that happen. And this, what we got, is called, right here, the little module, is called Diode Dynamics Sequencer Tail Light Module. It's a handful of words to say, but what that allows you to do is pretty much that every time you hit the brakes, the tail lights go sequential, or when you put the hazard, it goes sequential. So all you literally are doing is just adding sequential all the time when you hit the brakes or when you put hazards, which is not a big deal, but it does act a little bit different compared to the other Mustangs. I saw an example, the OEM one, when you hit the brakes, the tail lights just turn on. But when you have this module installed, what's gonna happen is every time you hit the brake, it's gonna be like the turning signal. It's just gonna go one, middle, and then outer, and it just makes it seem so majestic. I don't know, for some reason, I love lighting stuff. I don't see why not doing the Mustang. I've seen other Mustangs, I'm like, let's do it. So now I'm going to show you the tools we used. Alright, and these are the tools we use. We use this plastic trim remover. This is pretty much, you can take off the plastic clips. And you don't need this, but I suggest having it. I'll show you why we used it. A 3M tape. Let me put it this way. There we go. Use a 3M tape. Like I said, you don't have to really use this, but I highly recommend this just for, I'm going to show you later on down the video. So after showing the tools that we use, now we're going to go ahead and install this little thing. Should be plug and play. Those famous words that you always say and then it turns out to be a big mess, but don't worry about it. Should be plug and play. So let's get to installing. Here we are. This is gonna be our workspace. So what our goal is right now, we're gonna have to take away this plastic trim right here. You see it right there, and then we're gonna take this I guess carpet or cloth looking hard plastic, whatever you want to call it, also off a little bit, which has those hard clips, the typical clips you have to remove. And has them there on the other side as well. And therefore we can go ahead and reach the tail lights, and all we're gonna do is just plug that little module in there just to go ahead and to see the Mustang do its thing. Well, the lights is to do the things, not Mustang. But anyways, let's go ahead and get to it. Alright, so we took this side out, which right here, just gotta, the righty tight is your lefty, so you turn this left, takes this out, it's pretty cool. You have one clip there, and believe it or not, we discovered this. There's actually a magnet there, so it just goes in there and holds it. That's a good way of not using these dumb clips, but hey, whatever. So unfortunately, you do have to take this whole little trim out where the trunk is. You have to remove it. Therefore, once you do that, you can remove this side, and then that should expose the wiring for the tail light. Alright, yeah, so I had to change the angle because this, if you see right here, so you guys understand, you gotta pull this. Obviously this is where you see in the interior. You just gotta push it out and push up because it has these hooks here, which the hooks in there, and it's actually not that bad, little clips in there, but it's not really that hard to remove, thank the Lord. And now we're gonna go over here, and then should expose the wiring right there. I think you should see it right there. That's a culprit right there that we have to unplug and plug the little diode dynamic module. Yep. And just like that, it's literally just plug and play. So before we do anything, put anything back or do the other side, because this is the left side right here, we're gonna go ahead and test it out, and you guys can see what I'm talking about when you hit the brakes. So let's show you that example. Okay, so right now my dad's inside the Mustang and he's gonna step on the brakes. You're gonna see this is gonna be one without the diode dynamics, and this is gonna be with it. So you're gonna see what I mean when you hit the brakes. I mean, I already saw the example, but this is the this is like right next to each other, so you can see it. Go ahead, hit the brakes. Let it go. One more time. You see how this is going sequential, and this is just flashing red, all of them at the same time. It's pretty cool. Now hit the hazards. See, that's pretty much all it's doing. So it's sequential the whole time. Turning signal, hitting the brakes. Even when you turn on the car, turn off the car, when you hit the switch, whatever, once it gets power, it's gonna be sequential. This is just gonna keep flashing all three of them together. This one starts by inner, middle, and outer. That's how it works, and I think it looks pretty cool. It's a little simple mod you can put in your Mustang to separate yourself from the other Mustangs out there. Not a big of a deal, but to me, since I love lighting, it's perfect. Alright, just like that, we are done. We just gotta obviously put the interior back together, and I'm gonna show you how to do that. Should be straightforward, just putting that everything you just did in reverse. The cool thing is now, everything's now plugged in, it's ready to go. Both sides have sequential on there when you hit the brakes and put the hazards. And another thing we're gonna do is also, just to secure it more, since we still have like leftover 3M tape, you can 3M tape whatever is just hanging there, wire, instead of them banging back and forth. Just get a 3M tape, just put it on the side there, just to secure it better. It doesn't start swinging everywhere. I mean, it's not a big deal, but just to make sure it's all good. Then from there, we'll be set. And just like that, you see the cables there. Hopefully I can get all right. There, you see the cables there. I put 3M tape on the one from the kit, and it's just hanging right there. You gotta hold it there for a minute because it's gonna fall off. But therefore, it's just not dangling in there and looks a little bit more neat. But the only person who can honestly see that is yourself, because nobody's going to go in there to see that. But anyways, let me show you the other side right here. You can see the other part. Almost just barely the lighting here, but right over there, that's a diode dynamics, and this is the OEM. Just put 3M behind the little clip there, and then it's just hanging in there with the 3M tape. Hopefully it holds. If it doesn't, well, I don't think it's a big deal, because these that modules don't weigh that much, to be honest, so it's not a big deal. Plus you have this holding it back. So yeah, so let's just put the interior back on, and then we should be set. So we got the plastic trim back in here, so I suggest just putting this little one clip back in there, because this has a magnet there, so you're all good there. You see these 4 little hooks, they're gonna hook in it right there. You see that hole there, the hole there, hole there, and hole there. You're just gonna pretty much slide that back in there, and then everything should start clipping from there. And all now you're gonna do is put the little plastic screws back in there, or I guess I don't know what you call that, but you're just gonna put that back in there, and it should hold this little plastic trim in there, and then you'll be set. Have it. The truck's all put back together, the trim is put, all well done. The trim is where it's supposed to be. These little clips are supposed to hold it, are holding it, and there you go. The trunk's all set. All we got now to do is to close the trunk and call it a day. Alrighty, and there you go. That's the world's most easiest install, thank the God above. Because honestly, every time we do an install on any car, it just takes too long, especially filming it. It takes a little bit longer, but you know what? Whatever, it's good. The Mustang looks amazing with it. It's a little minor detail. It's nothing a big deal. It's not gonna give you more horsepower or anything like that, but it does add a little different effect compared to the other Mustangs. Now I know they do sell those European style tail lights that you can do a million other functions on there, which that would be a cool thing to do maybe in the future, but who knows. But for now, the little sequential thing is just amazing. Now you do have this sequential always on a turning signal like I showed in the other clips, but remember that's from factory. Now when you hit the brakes and stuff like that, it's always gonna be a solid, all three of them are gonna turn on at the same time. But now since we installed that, so every time we hit the brakes, it's a little sequential, so it'll be a little bit different compared to the other Mustang. Other than that, thank you for watching. Hope you like this simple install. You guys can get this, of course I'm gonna link this down below. And as well, remember to like and subscribe and follow me at jays_finest to find out any latest information on my channel or anything new. Thank you for watching and take care.